Where does you mentioned Iowa State? We talked about Texas a little bit. Kansas has won 3 straight home games where they were down late and found a way to win. Kansas State has looked great. Baylor got a really impressive win today at home against Oklahoma State. I think at this point there's a clear-cut top 6 in the Big 12. Like there's a lot of really good teams, and all of them are going to have great computer numbers. But
well,
it's
your
Kansas.
bottom. All right, so your bottom 4. West Virginia is obviously the very bottom.
West Virginia and Texas Tech to me are at the bottom.
I
Oklahoma
think
State.
Texas Tech from here on out will not be at the bottom.
We'll see what Fardaws ends up being when he's back, because he looked extremely rusty today, but it makes sense.
Well, of course he's going to be rusty. He didn't even think he'd be, back this.
No, I get. There's a very much a reason why he's rusty, but
right.
I need to see him be Fardaws that he will average in 19 and 4. Like I need to see it before I buy into that.
But you could see flashes tonight. His first game back, not playing with that team and being out the whole season. That actually, I thought he was impressive.
Yeah. Well, they're 10-7 overall. They're 0-5 in the Big 12, so they have a lot of ground
they're not going
to be able to get a chance to be an at-large bid. But all that said, my top 6: Kansas, Texas, Iowa State, Kansas State, TCU, Baylor. Let's ignore for a second the race for a Big 12 regular season title. If you got to hitch your wagon to one of those teams making a run in March, and obviously it's probably Kansas because of Bill Self. All right. But is there anyone else that you think is in the same conversation? Is there anyone else that you're like, you know what? Like I'm really impressed with them. I think they can make a run.
I mean, I guess I would say Baylor still, but their bigs just scare the hell out of me right now. Like they're getting nothing out of their 4s. Their 5s can't score. I don't know if Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua is going to come back. I think he's close. But I'm just not sure if he's ready.
It's going to be if he comes back, it's going to be really like his whole thing is athleticism, and there's just no possible way that you can come back and you can, from what the injury he had, and be the athlete that you were like this. So that would be my concern.
But he doesn't have to give him, like, to me, he can give you 12 minutes and you can be happy with that if he plays that hard, but it's clearly Kansas. And I love Baylor's perimeter trio, right? Like those 3 dudes, Flagler, Cryer, and Keontae George. I'll match up against just about anybody in the country if Keontae's playing his game and making shots. Yeah, I like Texas. Do I trust them completely? No, I think it's Kansas and then everybody else. And the funny part is, like, you and I are seeing Kansas at Kansas State Tuesday. It's going to be like the game I've been looking forward to more than any I've been to in a long time, just because I've never been to a game. I've never been to that rivalry, period.
The Octagon of Doom, baby. The Octagon of Doom.
I've never been to a game at Kansas State in Manhattan. So I'm dying to watch that one. Again, Tang's done such a good job there, but I'm not sure every one of these teams has their warts. Even Kansas, right? Like Kansas still has its warts. We don't know if they could score at a high clip if you take away Jalen Wilson, or Grady Dick has a really poor game shooting the ball. I just like Baylor's perimeter trio as that second. And as much as anything, I trust Bill Self and Scott Drew. Those are the 2. If it's close, I'm going to take the coaches. Those are the 2 coaches I trust.
Yeah, I think we've seen the adjustment, right? We've seen the pivot for Bill Self at Kansas. The KJ Adams finding a way to make him really effective. KJ's been unbelievable. He has 2 game-winning shots in the last. He had the game when was at Texas Tech, and then home for Iowa State. So he's had a couple game winners of late. No, it was Oklahoma State at home. So he's had a couple really big shots, game winners, clutch buckets. I'm in on Kansas. I think they're really dangerous. I cannot shake the idea that anytime Kansas State is on the floor, there's a very real chance they have the 2 best players on the floor, and Keontae Johnson and Marquise Noel. Yeah. And if Marquise Noel gets going, like that dude, he could put up Trae Young, John Morant numbers. Keontae Johnson, you can make a pretty strong argument, has been the Big 12 Player of the Year to date.
Totally.
Yeah. Very strong argument.
I just don't know if they have enough around them, and
that's the concern. It's the depth, right? It's the balance.
Yeah, Yeah, and again, I mean, you know, the again, like those guys have won national titles too as coaches, as head coaches. Tang hasn't. Tang's a half a year into his head coaching career. I love Jerome Tang, but he's not Scott Drew, who's done it for 20 years, or Bill Self, who's done it for 30 years and won. You know, Bill's won multiple titles and Scott's won one.
All right, I got one for you. Would you rather be at Madison Square Garden for the Big East semifinals and finals if you could guarantee that Providence, Marquette, Xavier, and UConn make it to the semifinals?
Providence,
Or
Marquette, Xavier, and UConn. Yeah.
yeah, or would you rather go to the Big 12 tournament if you could guarantee in the semifinals that it would be Kansas, Texas, Kansas State, and whoever else you want to be there? If you could
Baylor.
basically,
Baylor.
if you could,
And Baylor.
and Baylor, yeah, if you could guarantee it would be those four teams, where would you rather be?
I'll take is the Big 12 in Kansas City again?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go there for the barbecue.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan of the Brother
I
Jimmy's.
can get
Brother Jimmy's right across the street from Madison Square Garden.
Brother Jimmy's ain't it.
Yeah, I
It
know.
ain't Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah, it absolutely is not.
I'll go. Listen, I'll do one better. I'll do one better for you. I
I don't think you will.
I will go to Vegas again and do my trio stadium swim, but this time I'm going to wear shorts. Then I'm going to go to the Pac-12 title game, the Mountain West title game, and I might go to